Paragons were first introduced in BTD6 in Update 27.0 as a means to elevate the gameplay experience, allowing players to take their favorite towers to new heights. The concept of Paragons emerged from community feedback and a growing desire for advanced tower mechanics that provided players with powerful options without disrupting game balance. Upon their release, Paragons were met with excitement and enthusiasm from the community. Players quickly recognized their potential to dominate both standard maps and boss events. The gameplay mechanics surrounding Paragons were designed to reward players for strategic tower placement and upgrading, creating a sense of accomplishment as they worked towards unlocking these powerful forms. With their significantly increased damage to bosses, Paragons quickly became a staple in boss event. As with any game feature, the introduction of Paragons led to a need for ongoing balance and adjustments. Developers at Ninja Kiwi recognized that while Paragons were intended to enhance gameplay, their power needed to be carefully monitored to maintain a competitive environment. Over time, various nerfs and buffs were implemented, affecting the damage output, range, and abilities of Paragons to ensure that they remained a viable option without overshadowing other towers. In the version 39.0 update for Bloons TD6, several significant changes were made to the Paragon system, which is a crucial aspect of the game's tower upgrade mechanics. Here's a breakdown of the key changes. 1. Cost adjustments and balancing. The update introduced a new pricing floor for Paragon towers. 2. Paragon cash slider and Paragon nerfs. This update added a Paragon cash slider. Rather than capping out at $250,000, Paragons can now be sacrificed within a cash slider. 3. Gameplay and strategy adjustments. The update removed the ability for Paragons to benefit from extra sellback options like those provided by Favored Trades or Navarch of the Seas. This change was likely implemented to prevent excessive economic advantages that could unbalance gameplay. The initial Paragons introduced were the Dart Paragon, Apex Plasma Master, and the Boomerang Paragon, Glaive dominus, each designed to showcase unique strengths and abilities. The Boomerang Paragon would usually be outshined by the Dart Paragon, as the Dart Paragon was a cheaper input for a similar output, especially with the Monkey Knowledge Master Double Cross, giving 2 Crossbow Masters, allowing for a quick attainment of a degree 30 Paragon. In the subsequent months, Glaive Dominus received the following balance changes. Update 28. Boomerang Paragon burn damage over time, damage tick increased from 50 to 100. Boomerang Paragon shred damage over time, damage tick increased from 250 to 750. Boomerang Paragon, rotating glaive-based damage increased from 20 to 42. Update 29. Paragon Press Attack, explosion damage increased from 100 to 2,500. Paragon Press Attack, explosion bonus damage to boss increased by plus 5,000. Paragon Press Attack, fire damage over time increased from 100 to 500. Update 34. Glaive Dominus price reduced from $400,000 to $325,000. Following all these changes, even with the addition of newer Paragons, the Glaive Dominus found its use in ranked boss events, evolving from a mediocre Paragon to a cost-efficient one. The Boomerang Paragon found most of its use in boss events from Vortex, specifically Elite, as it was able to hit through the shield, a capability shared only with the Ray of Doom, Engineer Paragon, and First Strike. However, the Engineer Paragon would only be used in normal mode, as it could only take out 4 out of 8 skulls on Elite. In Update 36, the Glaive Dominus was given a support buff, providing an 11% attack speed increase to all primary towers, including Paragons, further increasing its use in ranked boss events. In Update 38, increasing the price by $25,000, from $325,000 to $350,000, which followed Update 39, that brought significant changes that drastically reduced the tower's effectiveness. Glaive Dominus range reduced, 75 to 60. Glaive Dominus price reduced, $350,000 to $275,000. Glaive Dominus main attack boss damage multiplier reduced, 60x to 50x. Glaive Dominus Press Attack's final explosion base, boss bonus reduced, plus 5,000 to plus 4,000. Glaive Dominus Press Attack's base cooldown delay increased, 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds. Glaive Dominus Orbital Attack base bonus, boss damage reduced, plus 160 to plus 150. Glaive Dominus Orbit attack radius reduced, 60 to 50. All these changes resulted in around a 30% decrease in power for 22% of the cost. Considering the Dart Paragon is half the price and just as good, if not better, on maps with walls, Glaive Dominus now has limited use. The worst undocumented change to the Glaive Dominus was losing its ability to attack through Vortex's shield. It's unclear if the Glaive Dominus will ever be changed, but for now, it remains the least effective Paragon in Bloons TD6. The Dart Paragon, also known as the Apex Plasma Master, was introduced in Update 27 alongside the Glaive Dominus. It emerged as the more affordable and potent option of the two. The Apex Plasma Master became highly effective in boss events and free play, particularly excelling on maps with numerous walls, such as Hedge or Winter Park. Capable of soloing elite bosses on such maps even at degree 20, it proved to be a formidable Paragon, ranking among the strongest damagers in the game when paired with a suitable map. Upon its release, if a player had the Master Double Cross Monkey knowledge activated and possessed 4 Tier 5 Dart Monkeys, purchasing the Apex Plasma Master upgrade would only trigger the additional 10,000 power boost if it met the 250,000 cash power cap, and was bought in the same round as all Tier 5 dart monkeys, specifically the last one placed. Initially perceived as a bug, it was later clarified as intended behavior. However, this was adjusted in version 31 to ensure the order of purchases no longer affected the outcome. Due to its effectiveness, the Paragon was nerfed in update 33.0, with its attack rate slowed from 0.3 to 0.35 seconds, a 14% reduction. This made it less effective on maps without walls compared to the Glaive dominus, though it remained a slightly cheaper option. In update 38.0, the Apex Plasma Master received a price reduction, lowering the cost from $350,000 to $325,000. Additionally, it benefited from the 4-in-4 monkey knowledge, which grants a 4th Juggernaut ball every 4th shot, though this was deemed somewhat ineffective. A significant rework in update 39.0 further reduced the price to $150,000, making it even more accessible than the Legend of the Knight. This update also adjusted its power and enhanced the ceramic bonus, aiming to increase the utility of the Juggernaut bonus against specific enemies like the Dread Bloon. The full balance changes included price reduction from $325,000 to $150,000, base damage reduction from 20 to 15, increase in base bonus ceramic damage from plus 30 to plus 75. Base attack, cooldown increase from 0.35 seconds to 0.4 seconds. Adjustments to master double cross benefits and ceramic damage scaling with Paragon degrees. This was overall a buff to the Paragon, decreasing its power by 35% for a decrease in price of 40%. These changes made the Paragon useful in at the time new game modes least tiers and least cash, being usable in elite on maps with walls and on normal on difficult bosses that weren't beatable with a quick few tier 5s. The Paragon also became a good tier 2 option for timed bosses, or unranked bossing. The Paragon would also receive plus 15 ceramic damage in 40.0, which is not considered particularly useful. The Ninja Paragon, Ascended Shadow, was introduced in update 28.0 as the most expensive of the 3 Paragons available in the game at that time. This Paragon primarily inflicts damage through its Sticky Bomb, which targets the strongest balloon on the screen, and its Shurikens, which also deal significant damage. Despite being the strongest of the 3, its steep price of $600,000 limited its use mainly to unranked bosses and free play. Subsequent updates brought several balance changes and bug fixes to the tower. Update 29.0. The Ninja Paragon's Sticky Bomb attack was adjusted to correctly create an area of effect, AoE, when it destroys a target. Update 36.0. The cost of the Ninja Paragon was reduced from $600,000 to $500,000. Update 37.0. The Ascended Shadow was reworked to grant global camo detection to all towers on the screen, rather than removing camo with its attacks. This change is considered a buff, since external camo detection reduces the redundancy of decamo abilities, and Ascended Shadow retains its focus on targeting camo balloons when camo prioritization is enabled. Additional camo damage bonuses were applied. Main attack, plus 6, Flash Bomb Explosion, plus 20, Flash Bomb Shurikens, plus 16, Sticky Bomb Projectile, plus 3,200, Sticky Bomb Explosion, plus 700. Ascended Shadow now inflicts 25% damage to all non-Moabs that spawn. Update 39.0. Increased overall boss damage for Ascended Shadow. Camo damage bonuses were adjusted to scale properly with Paragon degrees. Currently, there is a bug affecting any Ninja Paragon above degree 26, causing it to throw Moab mines faster than they can detonate. This issue results in a loss of power during boss events, although it might be seen as a buff in other scenarios. Despite these challenges, buffs over the updates, making it a viable option, particularly for its balanced strength among Paragons. It has seen occasional use across all 3 ranked boss game modes, though it remains non-essential as it is not a game-breaking tower. Considering its performance in single-target scenarios, further buffs to the Moab mines could be beneficial. The Boat Paragon, known as the Navarch of the Seas, made its grand debut as the 4th Paragon in Bloons TD6 during update 29.0. At launch, it established itself as an unparalleled force, particularly on aquatic maps, outclassing all other Paragons in the game. This formidable vessel boasts 6 independently aiming triple turrets, each delivering a devastating barrage of 3 explosive rounds alongside 10 arrowhead-shaped great projectiles with each shot. On its deck, a sophisticated array of kinetic grappling hooks autonomously targets and dismantles Moab-class balloons, including the formidable Zomg, every 0.6 seconds. These hooks are capable of firing 10 times before entering their 10-second cooldown phase. Priced at $500,000, the Navarch of the Seas shines in free play mode, featuring a unique ability that allows it to ensnare a bad balloon regardless of its HP. Furthermore, it is particularly effective in boss events on water-rich maps, enabling players to achieve high-level Paragons through boat farming. Despite its initial dominance, the Navarch of the Seas underwent a series of significant balance changes. Update 30.0, the cooldown for the Navarch's activated ability now scales similarly to attack speed. The passive grappling hook firing rate adjusted from 0.02 seconds to 0.06 seconds. The cooldown for the active grappling hook increased from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Update 32.0. The cost of the Navarch of the Seas rose from $500,000 to $550,000. Update 33.0. The Big Hook ability is no longer influenced by the Rejuvenation Potion. Update 35.0. The Mega Hook ability now initiates with a full cooldown period rather than 1/3 of the time, 10 seconds. These adjustments significantly reduced the Navarch's effectiveness in free play mode, which had been its primary strength. However, it remains a top-tier choice for boss events, especially in ranked play, bolstered by the Carrier Flagship buff that enhances all Water and Ace Paragons. While the Navarch wouldn't be as good on newer least tiers and least cash modes, as its tier 5 upgrades are less effective. Additionally, it can benefit from the flanking maneuver's Monkey Knowledge, granting a 10% attack speed boost when placed on last targeting. The Engineer Paragon, Master Builder, was the 5th Paragon added to Bloons TD6. With an upgrade cost of $650,000, the Paragon would be for the 3rd time in a row the most expensive Paragon added to the game. The Paragon received negative feedback from the community at first, as the Paragon is basically a 6th tier top path engineer, not including many features from the other 2 paths. The Master Builder itself can shoot 3 nails at once. These nails can pin ceramic balloons and stun any Moab class balloons besides bad or boss balloons for a short time, and can pop all balloon types, including camo. Master Builder's main attack and its sentries will deal bonus damage to any boss balloons, including elite bosses. Each round also increases its attack speed by 10% with 0.05 seconds minimum attack cooldown. In addition to all this, Master Builder gains the ability to manually deploy up to 3 specialized mega sentries that themselves create identical mini sentries. The Paragon was by far the strongest tower at the time for ranked bosses, being able to insta-kill in one frame all bosses besides Lich. Its crazy dominance would mainly stay in ranked bosses due to most of its damage coming from sentry redeploy. The Paragon would actually not receive any balance changes, only the following set of bug fixes. 32.2 added visual feedback for Master Builder's self-boosting effect. Some Master Builder sentries will no longer see but fail to hit camos. 33.0 Master Builder ability no longer affected by Rejuv Potion. 37.0 resolved an issue where the Paragon's permanent speed boost per round would not load until the end of the first round played after loading a save. 38.0 Engineer Paragon sentries are now correctly destroyed if their platform is removed. Engineer Paragon sentries no longer position incorrectly when placed as the round ends. Engineer Paragon no longer defaults to throwing out a green sentry after loading a save. 41.0 Vigilant Sentries MK should now apply for the Paragon. The Master Builder would become a very powerful tower in the least tiers mode, as the tower contains very powerful tier 5s, though the Paragon would be too expensive to be used in least cash. The Engineer Paragon would stay the worst Paragon in free play, but also the best Paragon in boss events. The Ace Paragon, Goliath Doomship, was the 6th Paragon introduced in Bloons TD6, debuted with a staggering price tag of $800,000. This formidable unit quickly became renowned for its extraordinary firepower, particularly when expertly micromanaged by players. The Goliath Doomship unleashes a barrage of 16 non-homing missile volleys, complemented by 4 homing missiles that effectively target Moab-class balloons. Setting it apart from other monkey aces, it also generates a rapid stream of 2 darts, akin to the aircraft carrier's mini-planes when it engages a balloon. One of its standout features is an ability that calls upon 3 mini Doomships, which execute a devastating carpet bombing run across the battlefield via a fixed, adjustable path. This ability inflicts tremendous localized explosive damage and stuns all balloon types, with the exception of bads and bosses. The Goliath Doomship quickly rose to prominence, becoming the most coveted Paragon due to its immense power. It dominated both ranked and unranked boss events, capable of single-handedly taking down elite bosses on most beginner and intermediate maps at just degree 20, and it could even instantaneously eliminate bosses with its carpet bomb ability. However, with great power came inevitable balance adjustments. The Goliath Doomship began to receive a series of nerfs over various updates. Update 36.0, price increased from $800,000 to $900,000, gains increased attack speed when Navarch of the Seas is present on screen. Update 39.0, overall boss damage slightly decreased. Carpet bomb base ability cooldown extended from 40 seconds to 45 seconds. Update 41.0, ability cooldown increased from 45 seconds to 50 seconds. Update 43.0, Seeking Radial's projectile count increased from 4 to 8. Seeking Radial's damage increased from 200 to 300. Seeking Radial's boss bonus increased from plus 200 to plus 300. Non-Seeking Radial's projectile count reduced from 16 to 12. Non-Seeking Radial's damage increased from 200 to 207, 300. Non-Seeking Radial's boss bonus increased from plus 200 to plus 300. Frontal gun damage reduced from 300 to 150. Frontal gun boss bonus reduced from plus 300 to plus 150. Update 44.0, Carpet Bomb cooldown increased from 50 seconds to 60 seconds. Regular damage for Carpet Bomb increased from 20,000 to 30,000. Bonus damage to bosses from the Carpet Bomb reduced from plus 20,000 to plus 0. Despite these adjustments, the Goliath Doomship remains a powerhouse, albeit not as dominant as it once was. It continues to be the most sought-after Paragon in the game, and is frequently deployed in boss events, whether ranked or unranked, solidifying its status as the strongest Paragon in Bloons TD6. The Magus Perfectus, also known as the Wizard Paragon, was introduced as the 7th Paragon in Bloons TD6 with the 37.0 update. This Paragon is designed to be a strategic powerhouse, featuring gameplay mechanics reminiscent of the Goliath doomship. Central to its functionality is a unique resource called Graveyard Mana, which is consumed by most of its attacks and activated abilities. Magus Perfectus operates with two distinct attack modes. 1. Mana Generation Mode. This mode focuses on accumulating graveyard mana while dealing reduced damage. 2nd Mana Consumption Mode. In this mode, the Paragon unleashes powerful attacks that consume graveyard mana for enhanced damage output. Upon summoning, Magus Perfectus starts with 100,000 graveyard mana and can accumulate a maximum of 100,000 mana. Its gameplay heavily relies on the ability Metamorphosis, which, despite its long cooldown, delivers exceptional damage output, surpassing that of other Paragons. However, without this ability, Magus Perfectus struggles, particularly when paired with underwhelming Tier 5 upgrades. As a result, it is primarily utilized in ranked timed boss events, where the boss can be defeated before the Metamorphosis ability expires. The Paragon has undergone several balance adjustments in subsequent updates. Update 38.0. Each main attack now drains 50 mana. Each Phoenix Firebomb attack also drains 50 mana. The mana cost for spawning zombie bloons increased from 100 to 250. The travel range for zombie bloons was increased from 175 to 400. Update 39.0. The base pierce of the mini Paragon Undead Bloon projectile increased from 20 to 50. Drain Beam base damage increased from 50 to 200. Arcane Spike Attack base Moab bonus damage increased from 200 to 300 250th. Arcane Spike Attack base boss bonus damage increased from 100 to 150. Dark Phoenix Firebomb attack now deals an additional 50 bonus damage to bosses, scaling with Paragon degrees. Metamorphosis. Flamethrower attack's base pierce increased from 30 to 100. Metamorphosis. Flamethrower attack's base boss bonus increased from 500 to 1000. Update 41.0. Drain Beam damage reduced from 200 to 100. Arcane Spike attack damage increased from 50 to 100. Arcane Spike bonus damage to Moab class bloons increased from 250 to 300. These balance changes aim to reduce the Paragon's reliance on the Metamorphosis ability, although they largely fell short. The adjustments also ensured that the Drain Beam attack, which recovers mana, does not exceed the damage output of the main attack, leaving Magus Perfectus still dependent on its powerful ability for effective performance. The sub-Paragon, Nautic Siege Core, was the 8th Paragon added to Bloons TD6 at a price of $400,000. The tower contains a triple guns, along with the ability to submerge, reducing all ability cooldowns, including Paragons, by 30%. The sub-Paragon also contains an ability called Final Strike. When activated, the Nautic Siege Core disables itself for 15 seconds, before deploying 3 massive nuclear missiles targeting First, Last, and Strong. Together, each produces very devastating explosions that cover an exceedingly wide radius, and each leave behind 5 pools of plutonium radiation that deal massive continuous damage for 36 seconds to an extended ability duration. Each missile explosion produces a primary explosion that covers 60 radius and 30 pierce, alongside a secondary explosion that covers 180 radius and 120 pierce. The ability for the Nautic Siege Core is the longest in the game, more than doubling the second longest being Metamorphosis at 240 seconds for pretty underwhelming damage. The Paragon sees great use in all ranked boss modes as well as unranked boss, as its main attack does really good damage. The Paragon would also see use in free play for its ability cooldown reduction on Paragons. The Nautic Siege Core is also able to buff hero leveling by 7 times as well as the damage of subs, though it must be noted that this only affects base damage. The sub-Paragon would receive the following balance changes. 41.2 Final Strike initial impact damage per missile, increased from 30,000 to 50,000 Final Strike initial impact. Boss bonus damage per missile, reduced from plus 30,000 to plus 10,000. Final Strike Moab class bonus damage per Fallout Puddle, increased from plus 40 to plus 60. Final Strike boss bonus damage per Fallout Puddle, reduced from plus 50 to plus 30. 43.0 Nautic Siege Core's hero attack, cooldown penalty, reduced from 1.5x to 1.3x. Nautic Siege Core's hero damage multiplier, increased from 5x to 6x. 44.0 Nautic Siege Core's Final Strike ability explosion damage increased from 50,000 to 60,000. Nautic Siege Core's Final Strike ability explosion bonus boss damage reduced from plus 10,000 to plus 0. Nautic Siege Core's Final Strike ability aftershock damage increased 10,000 to 15,000. Nautic Siege Core's Final Strike ability aftershock bonus boss damage reduced from plus 5,000 to plus 0. Nautic Siege Core's Final Strike ability Fallout damage to Moab class increased plus 60 to plus 90. Nautic Siege Core's Final Strike ability Fallout bonus boss damage reduced from plus 30 to plus 0. Overall, the balance changes aren't really anything special, affecting what is arguably the least effective part of the Paragon. the Nautic Siege Core will continue to be a middle-tier cost paragon that delivers high-tier damage.